Hello, and welcome to the Andrew Richter Show. Today we have a very special surprise for you. It's Andrew's 150th anniversary. That's 150 shows in the can.
Yeah, I'm not 150 years old.
Right.
150th show.
Yeah. So congratulations, Andrew, for your 150th show here on Northwest Community Television. And we have another special guest, and that's Mr. Jason Bradley from Community Solutions, Minnesota. If you haven't joined him yet on Facebook, I recommend that you do that as soon as possible. Mm-hmm. Okay, so today we're going to talk about Agenda 21, and if you don't know what that is, it's the United Nations plan to basically take over the United States. You want to share some information with us, Jason?
Okay, well, that's one way to put it. Back in 1992, there was a UN summit in Rio de Janeiro, and this summit was all about the environment and about poverty and how it all works together. And so as far as it being a plan to take down America, maybe that's being a tiny bit facetious.
Okay.
But what it really is to make a plan to cap emissions, carbon exchanges, modes of transportation, or transit-oriented development. It all stems from this. And a lot of people want to say conspiracy theory. You can go out to the UN website and you can in fact Google United Nations Agenda 21, and it's one of the first links that come up. I mean, you can actually go read it on their website.
Yeah, little tidbit on that. They've actually taken some of it down recently.
Yes.
They've actually taken some of the references. The stuff towards sustainable development, which is something that comes out of Agenda 21, is still on there. But some of the old juicy stuff that we used to talk about on this show, maybe they're listening to us over there in New York. You think?
Maybe.
Well, I actually said take over the United States, not take down. And what I mean by that is that they're looking at taking over social, environmental, and economic, parts of our country,
which is
and
basically everything.
Telling us where we can live, what we have to drive, that we have to take these trains that they're building via circa 1800.
Yeah. Well, and that's it. It's about restricting the freedom and the economy of larger countries, not just the United States, I mean Europe and whomever, China, and then providing to a lot of your third world nations that don't have the ability, the resources, the money to be able to build that kind of an infrastructure.
So, in other words, it's we are worldwide redistribution of wealth. Is that another way to kind of look at it?
It was signed on by 179 nations, and America is paying for most of it.
Yep, it's true. And the nice thing about Agenda 21, if there is such a thing as a nice thing about it, is that it's not a binding agreement, so we can choose to be a part of it or not. We have a choice.
Not you and me.
Well, I'm doing what I can.
Well, here's one of the problems of that. One of the problems of it is one of the things that we'll get into some of the policy stuff, but one of the things that is a common theme that I've seen throughout Agenda 21 with sustainable development is using unelected bodies of government to push it. I mean, the chief one is a group called ICLEI, I-C-L-E-I, which is the UN's arm to push sustainable development, which is defined, as development which meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Now, that's gobbledygook as far as I'm concerned.
Can I add to that President Bill Clinton created the President's Council on Sustainable Development by Executive Order number blah, blah, blah on June 29, 1993, and that consists of top executives from 6 major environmental agencies.
Yeah, Sierra Club.
Thank you, Freedom.
And that's not the only one he signed. He also signed Executive Order 13158. That's 13158. Again, you can Google it. And that's the one that set up the Man and Biosphere Initiative, which was the Wildlands Project and UNESCO, an arm of the United Nations, working together to take certain areas of our national parks and ultimately make them no-go zones. What I mean by no-go zone is humans can't go there. In fact, here is a quote taken from one of the people involved with that project. We have got to share this planet with the other living creatures, and sharing means not merely preserving them in zoos or national parks, but setting aside huge areas, whole regions perhaps, that will be free of human interference. I would like to see certain large areas of the planet set off limits to human entry of any kind, even aerial overflights.
It's called the Boundary Waters Canoe Area. And not to be outdone, here's President Obama signing Executive Order 135, where is it on there, guys? 135.
13547.
47. Now, my question is, if this is such a good idea, why do they all look miserable?
Well, Biden, I think, is getting a colonoscopy. I think that's what's going
that's
on.
about what it looks like. I mean, this is the
Obama,
cabinet.
they
This
woke
is the
him up
president's
from his
cabinet.
nap. That's what happened with Obama.
That's what I'm thinking.
He get his snack in.
Yeah, this is his cabinet, and every single one of them looks like they just signed a death order for the United States.
Yeah,
of
they're being led to
America.
their own hanging. I tell you what, the other thing too, when we talk about what it envelops in sustainable development with Agenda 21, is that with lands being off limits to human beings, they have other plans for every other aspect of our lives, be it transportation, be it housing, be it industry, using the environment or poverty as the sort of excuse to why we have to do something. Higher density housing, cram us all in so we're not, so we can walk everywhere and have bicycle communities or whatever nonsense that they're pushing, and they're all pushing the same thing. You find me a group out there, elected or unelected, that has a comprehensive plan that doesn't look like they're all sharing one brain. You find it.
For example, you can't find it. That's a challenge to anybody that thinks they can. But for example, and Jason can speak to this personally, and so can I, they're taking homes away from us to build these crappy trains. It happened to me, and it happened to somebody that you know, right over on Brunswick and Bass Lake Road. They're taking our homes away from us to build trains.
Well, we don't know what's best for ourselves.
Right.
Remember that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all a fancy way of saying we don't know what we're doing. I mean, we don't know how to live free.
Yeah.
That's a fancy way of everything that they've pushed.
And it's really a fancy way of saying they don't know what they're doing either, so we're going to let somebody else decide it for us because we don't know what we're doing either.
And they want to give even more power to the Metropolitan Council. Remember, I said they're unelected officials.
Well, the Met Council, was technically created to do water and sewage for the
coordinate.
It was for the booming of the suburbs, I think.
Yes,
is what,
exactly. To coordinate multi-jurisdiction communities, projects in these communities, but they've grown way out of control.
Yep, absolutely.
And have way too much power.
They're in control of our airports. They're in not the
reliever airports.
Yeah, the reliever airports. They're in control.
That's
of
actually
our
another
roads
arm.
And, yeah.
MAC. I mean, the Metropolitan Airports Commission is an arm within the Met Council. They create they create another layer of government.
And then they like to call it Your Town USA. And by the way, you're going to hear a lot about NGOs, that's non-government organizations, who are now running our lives. Thank you very much.
And I want to go back to that picture with Obama because it's not just the Democrats.
Yeah.
It's the Republicans too.
Republicans.
It doesn't matter what party people are from; they're buying into this thing.
Well, George H.W. Bush was the original person who signed us on in 1992.
That's correct.
He was going out the door.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
Yeah, it was both Bushes. It was both of them.
Right,
And
because-
it was Clinton, and it's been Obama, and it's
Republican governors.
everybody. Yeah.
I mean, it's been plenty of people. It's a bipartisan effort to screw us.
And part of that is, at least locally,
usual.
people just don't understand it, and that's what I'm finding. People don't really know what's in it because it's over
it's
300 pages.
complicated, and
Nobody's
that's why
read it.
That's why we have elected officials. They're supposed to listen to us.